Okay, this video is going to show you how to solve systems of equations using Desmos. And so to use Desmos, you have to get every equation Desmos ready. And so Desmos ready means a variable is solved for. So like here, the x is already solved for. And so this equation is considered Desmos ready. This bottom one is not Desmos ready because it's in standard form. The x and y are together on the same side. So we need to solve for one of the variables. You can solve for x or you can solve for y. It doesn't matter which one. And so I'm going to go ahead and open Desmos. And then go to the Texas STAAR. And so if I were to try to type in the top equation, I can graph it. X equals negative 1/2 y plus 6. If I try to type the bottom equation, you're going to get a triangle. You can't graph that in the test mode. In the non-test mode, you can. You won't be able to do that on the STAAR test. And so that's why we have to solve for one of the variables. And so I'm going to go ahead and solve for y. And so to solve for y, you move the x term to the other side. Since it's positive, I'm going to do minus. And so then you divide by whatever's in front of the y, the whole thing. And so your Desmos ready equation, you can leave it as one big fraction. You don't even have to simplify it. Just move the x, then divide. And it'll be Desmos ready. And so to type this one in, you're going to type y equals and then hit the division key right off the bat. You won't be able to add that fraction bar later. So negative 9 minus 5x, and then the 9, and now it graphs it. And so my solution is 9 comma negative 6 as an ordered pair. The solution is where they intersect. Okay, and so for number 2, this time the bottom equation is Desmos ready. And for the top one, we need to get it Desmos ready. So I'm going to solve it for the y. And so 2x minus 3y equals 12. Our first step is to move the x. So it's positive, so I'm going to subtract. And then divide. There's a negative 3, so I have to divide by negative 3. And so y equals 12 minus 2x divided by negative 3. And now it's Desmos ready. Okay, I'm going to clear those. So typing the y equals 2/3, 2 divided by 3. Oops. Get out of the fraction, type your x, minus 4. And then y equals division key. 12 minus 2x divided by negative 3. Now, if you'll notice, that purple just graphed right on top of the green. That means they're the exact same line. If you zoom in, you're not going to see any difference. Okay, same line. And so if they're the same line, they intersect in infinitely many places. And so we're going to say infinitely many solutions. You can't tell they're the same line by their equations, but when you graph them, you can. Okay, neither of number 6's equations are Desmos ready, so we're going to solve them both. And so for the top one, I'm going to solve it for y. 4x minus 2y equals 5. Move the x, then divide. So y equals 5 minus 4x all over negative 2. That one's Desmos ready. For the bottom one, we need to solve it for y. So move the x, then divide. So y equals 15 minus 8x all over negative 4. And it's Desmos ready. So y equals fraction bar 5 minus 4x over negative 2. Y equals fraction bar 15 minus 8x over negative 4. This time they're parallel. If you zoom in, they're never going to intersect. Okay, and so because these are parallel, we're going to say no solution because there's no intersection. Parallel, no intersection. Infinitely many is when they're the same line right on top of each other. Okay, let's do this last one. There ends up being a fraction, and I'll show you what to do for that. So for the top equation, we'll solve it for y. Move the x, then divide. That one's Desmos ready. Same for the bottom. We're going to solve it for y. Move the x, then divide. And that one is Desmos ready. Okay, and so we can type both of these in. And then the solution is a decimal. And so you can write it in decimal form. The problem with the 6 being repeated, the 0.667, they're rounding that. The 6 is actually repeated indefinitely. And so to convert those to a fraction, you can type the 0.5 and convert it to a fraction. But for the 0.6 repeating, keep typing the 6 until the fraction option goes away. And when it comes back, it's ready. So now it's back, it's 2/3. So if you have a repeated decimal, keep typing that number 6, keep typing the 6's until the fraction goes away and comes back. And then you'll be able to convert it to the correct fraction.